Hi, I'm Jenny Pace, and you're listening to the Better Business Podcast. This is the place for makers, solopreneurs, and product-based business owners to get tips, advice, and inspiration on running their business that's profitable, it's fun, and that's kind of what you want to be doing with your life. I can't wait to share my tips and ideas, to share book reviews, and to help you run a better business for life. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 11 of the Better Business Podcast. And in this episode, I am celebrating and letting go and revisioning with you to celebrate 7 years in business. At the end of June this year, I celebrated 7 whole years in business. It feels like both a lifetime ago and like it only just happened, and I'm still there on day one, week one. It's been a wild ride, as I'm sure it has for many of you too. So I'm excited to share some stories today about what it's been like in my business, and also some of the things that I'm reflecting on and learning from right now in my business. So I started my business back in 2014. I had spent 5 years at Not on the High Street doing lots and lots of different things, learning lots about online retail. I joined Not on the High Street in 2009. It was still relatively small compared to what we think of it as now. And I learned so much. I did so many fun things. I had come from a degree in creative writing and working in publishing for a bit, and then putting those skills to use. And really, my first job was helping new sellers go live on the high street. So I was doing lots and lots of what works well when it comes to a product description and images. How can I help these people launch successfully on this marketplace? And I grew those skills, learned more about those things, worked with the sellers a lot, became the community manager for the seller community, did lots of events, lots of education, lots of support. Ultimately Not on the High Street got too big for me to be truly happy. I like small teams and small relationships, and I like to know everybody in the room. And once it got to 100, 150 people in the office, I didn't feel like that anymore. So I knew it was time for me to come back to working with small groups and one-on-one with people. And I really wanted to support these women, these small business owners, in a different way, more holistically, more human in business. And that has been part of the vision since day one. So since I left Not on the High Street, which was a sad and happy day all rolled into one, I've worked with many dozens of one-to-one clients, as well as hundreds of course takers and community members. I have written thousands of product descriptions. It's not something I do anymore, although I do have some resources on the way. If it's not in 6 figures of product descriptions I've written, I would be shocked. It's a lot. I've written a lot. I've edited emails. I've helped to build brands. I've hosted 6 separate weekend retreats. I set up and I ran a photography studio with premises and a team of 10. I downsized that. I processed that, and I finally came back to coaching one-on-one. As part of the photography studio, I accidentally created a product range. We named the photography studio after Gilmore Girls. It's Copper Beam Studio, which still exists as this product range. We made a promotional range of pins and prints and stuff, and it turned out people really loved those, even if they weren't interested in the photography studio. So I sent out thousands of orders as part of that, and I eventually sold that part of my business to a wonderful team just down the road from me, and it still exists. So if you're a Gilmore Girls fan, you can go and find Copper Beam Studio on Etsy and get really excited about buying pins and prints and stuff. And then behind the scenes in that time, I've moved house 3 times. I'm trying to move house again now. Apparently we're a bit addicted to that. I got married and I had a baby. So I was going through a whole load of old bits and pieces, cards and stuff. I have a card from my grandparents that says, if life is a roller coaster, you might as well sit at the front. And I feel like that is a very accurate representation of my life in the last 7 years, probably my life in the last 10 years, if I'm honest, maybe even a little bit longer. Sitting at the front of the roller coaster is definitely where I'm at. That is my spiritual home. And turns out that's still true even now. So it has been a whirlwind. Although it hasn't felt like that in the moments, I have done a lot of different things. I will say that in the last couple of years, it's also coming up to 2 years since my daughter was born. And in that time, things have slowed down quite a lot as well. In my business, I've had to really come back to the coaching and the membership group that I have, because those are the things that really fill me up and work for me. So, okay, let's talk about what I'm celebrating. So I remember when I started my business, I was going to meet my wonderful friend, Anna Hilliard, who is also a wonderful coach now. We had met several years before and become friends. We'd worked together a bit, and we had also just done loads of fun stuff together. And she was the person that I text and said, can we go for a drink to celebrate this first week in business? I think I'd had the wonderful Jane Lindsay of Snapdragon had immediately booked me to do some copywriting for her, and she had paid me upfront, which honestly was the best thing that's ever happened. It was a real gift. It was a real boost to my confidence, and she did it with such kindness and grace and empathy, understanding what it's like to set up a business. We went to a lovely pub in Queen's Park and we had lovely, delightful cocktails, and it was really great. And she was such a great champion for me. So I guess I'm partly celebrating all of those wonderful early supporters in the business, Anna and Jane and Laura Clumpson, Clara Macy, who was my very first mentoring client, which I can still remember emailing her with my new mentoring packages and receiving her response, which was, yes, how exciting, wonderful, this is going to make such a difference to me. But I remember how much it meant to me that she so enthusiastically said yes. Not only did I have this vision, I put it out there, and I had this courage to put it out there and contact people and say, hey, I'm doing this thing. Like, it certainly felt and still feels like my relationship with Laura in particular was meant to be. Very serendipitous. We have lots of things to celebrate, just the two of us, just in our own, relationship. But Laura was my first ever client and continues to be a very good friend. And we still talk business fairly regularly. So let's celebrate all my clients, all of the clients that I've had since then, since Laura said yes. I've learned so much from my clients as well as the other way around. I've had clients who have been with me for those 7 years. Laura, who, I'm still in touch with, Betsy, Ben, loads of people who came to my first retreat, who continued to be part of my membership group or work with me one-on-one. And then, of course, there are clients who came and went on to do different things, to grow in their own next direction. I've had new clients come in the last 12 months. It's been amazing. I love the variety of clients that I have, and I love seeing the moment that it clicks. I love seeing that moment of, hey, I can do this differently. and I get to choose, and it's amazing. I honestly get so much from working with amazing humans. So just massively celebrating that. And I also love being the person that gets to celebrate with them, and that encourages them to celebrate, encourages you guys listening to celebrate the things that are going well for you, and to be the person that can hold space for the freakouts and the panics. It means a lot that I can be trusted to do that, and that I am able to support when that happens. Okay, so that's point one, is celebrating the clients. I also want to celebrate the vision. I've always had a really clear vision about what I want to create with my business, who I want to help, and why I'm in business. It's always been about empowering women to forge success on their own terms, to embrace our humanity rather than burning ourselves out, and creating meaningful, positive change in the world. I haven't always articulated it that way, but it has always been true. I remember sitting with my lovely mum and talking about what I was planning to do. And yes, it was about, and still is about, helping people increase their bottom line, being profitable, getting more sales, that kind of the commercial side of running a business, helping people to do that. That's, I know a lot of the things that help that happen. I have done a lot of marketing, and I'm good at structuring things. But I also remember saying to her, and she had a small eye roll, maybe, because, that's who she is and who I am. But that I wanted to help people to feel better while making money, while running a business. That it was about helping them to feel good about what they were doing. The money stuff is important, and it still is important, and I still teach it a lot through the Better Business Collective and through my courses. I talk about marketing and money a lot, and mindset. Marketing, money, and mindset are things I talk about a lot. And that has been true from the beginning. But it's been interesting to me that sense of feeling good while you're running your business has always been such a strong thread for me. So it hasn't always been perfectly executed, this vision that I have. And in fact, I think that is part of the beauty. I'm always tending my vision. I'm always pivoting and tweaking as I go. But today, as I celebrate with you guys the first 7 years of my business, I'm really celebrating the strength of that vision, that still exists, that still is something that I've been able to act on and bring to life as much as possible. There's more to come. That vision is extended, and I can see over the next horizon in a way that I couldn't 7 years ago. So the third thing that I'm going to celebrate with you guys is my resilience. I used to hate the word resilience and the things that it implies. I was like, oh my God, they're going to put she was really resilient on my tombstone, and it's going to be annoying, because what it means is, I've had to hang on in there and deal with loads of challenges and put up with loads of rubbish, and just, I did not feel good about resilience. These days, I see it as a strength, because there are always challenges, and there are always bumps in the road, and there's always going to be rubbish to put up with. There are things we can change, and I hold the intention to have fewer challenges and have fewer frustrations. But resilience, I now see, is a strength that I can embrace and celebrate and enjoy and trust, because I'm grateful that I have that grit and determination. I'm grateful that when it comes back to it, I can be worn down and I can have something unexpected come along, and I don't crumble. I haven't crumbled. that I continue to have this determination to grow and learn and work through the challenges rather than give up. And I know that we've all heard it a million times, but truthfully, that resilience has allowed me to get a lot better at discerning the right action for me, a lot better at discerning the right thing for my client. I've always been good at listening. You know, these raw talents that came with me into my business have been honed, that I can listen to a client now and I can know whether they're ready to take a leap of faith or not. And that has only happened because of my own resilience, my own experiences, my own strengths. So hooray to resilience. And if you also have a slight eye roll at the word resilience and you're like, I know, but it's so boring, I encourage you to join me in celebrating it and enjoying the results of your resilience rather than just like, yeah, I put up with stuff. You don't have to put up with stuff. That's not really what resilience is. It's much more about embracing the challenges. Maybe that's a whole other podcast that we could do. Okay, so those are 3 things that I am celebrating from my 7 years in business. I wanted to also share some things that I'm releasing because I'm here to be honest and to show you where I am, but also because letting go is a really regular habit for me, and it's something that I encourage. I mean, every week in the Better Business Collective, we talk about what we're intending and what we're letting go. And I think it's an important practice. It's not something that we do. It's not like an annual spring clean. It's like a regular thing because we accumulate so many limiting beliefs. We accumulate negative experiences and clutter, to-do list clutter, email clutter, as well as, physical. So it's always a good time to release what we don't need so that it's not getting in the way. It's like having a little dust around. So I was thinking about what am I releasing right now? And the first thing that came to mind was that I'm really practicing letting go of needing to do everything myself. I know. I'm letting go of control. Okay, I'm trying to let go of control. I pretend that I'm not a control freak, but it turns out I kind of am. However, I'm working on it. I know it's important. The growth that comes from trusting and just like the honesty of what is controllable and what is not controllable. It's happening. I'm doing it. So Kate, my wonderful VA, who I've been working with for several months now, is doing more and more of the behind the scenes work every week. She's like, Jenny, I could do that. And I'm like, yeah, you can. Okay, I will. Let's try it. It has truly taken several years, 7 years maybe, to let someone else look after my client bookings and my calendar specifically. I've never let that go before. So Kate now has that, and she totally has her work cut out for her. If I'm honest, it is a relief to have those details taken care of, so that I can show up for my clients and my community members even more. It's so nice to know that I don't need to answer the emails about, can we move this by 15 minutes or do you have any space here? That she is just the boss of booking, as we said the other day. I say this with complete knowledge that for many of us, it can take a lot for us to let go of doing everything ourselves. So I say it as encouragement. There are other things that I have totally let go of needing to do myself. Like from the beginning, I've had an accountant forever, but there were lots of things that I have been able to delegate. But it's interesting to see that I'm still letting go of some of the things that I feel a bit controlly about, with trust that Kate is going to do a good job. I'm also letting go of shoulds. I've never loved the shoulds. I should be doing this. I should have done this. All those things that we feel like we should do, that the culture we live in tells us we should do. The patriarchy, capitalism, hustle hard culture. I do not love those things, but they're pretty pervasive, right? So there are things that creep in. So I'm very much thinking about the shoulds and what has maybe crept in, especially as I've entered motherhood fully. And I say entering it fully because I've been a step parent for pretty much as long as I've run my business. So I had some idea before my daughter was born about the parenting. But of course, it has been different since she was born in 2019, that the shoulds of being a mother have been much stronger since then. So I have recently had a few I should have done this. I should have done these things that have been dragging me down. So I'm releasing them and I'm choosing differently, giving myself a lot of compassion. And truthfully, I'm letting go of guilt. I'm a people pleaser. There is mum guilt. There is business guilt. I don't like to let people down. I don't like to say no. I know a lot of you will resonate with that. And I know that I have to. I know that I have to lovingly and happily say no to things in order to say yes to the right things. I'm so much better at avoiding those situations where I have to say a hard no and have to backtrack on things that I thought would work but don't. I'm so much better at avoiding those now. And I'm grateful for that. But I'm also letting go of any of the residual guilt from times when I've had to let someone down and put myself and my family first. Releasing that guilt and knowing that I'm constantly working towards a better way of doing business, a better way of structuring things. It feels good. It feels lighter to think about these things that I'm letting go of, to go into the 8th year of business. So that's what I'm letting go of. I'm also revisioning. So as I said before, I'm really proud of my vision. I'm celebrating the strength of my vision. It's something that I'm really good at, connecting with the vision of what I want. And it's something that I love to help my clients with. If you were part of the Better Christmas plan that I did recently, which is now also available as a recording, we did a visualization about Christmas in that mini course. I love it. I love leading people through that work and allowing them to find their own vision that isn't coloured by shoulds and have tos. And this is what success looks like. Very rewarding for me, but it's also, I see it be rewarding for my clients as well. So vision is a strength for me, but I am now a mother of a 2-year-old. And so I'm revising some of the vision that I have held to allow for more space and for less pressure. It was interesting looking back at some pictures and some cards and things that I've kept from those early years in business. And if you follow me on Instagram, I shared a couple of them this week. There's a picture of me from my first couple of months. I look so like fresh-faced and energetic. Compared to now, the energy was endless. I had seemingly endless energy in my early years of business. And these days, I am in a different place and I need a different pace. And I think that's true for the majority of businesses. The first few years, let's say the first 2 years of business, tend to be pretty full on, pretty intense. You know, you're building, because that's kind of how it has to be. But these days, that's not where I am. I'm not building right now. I am still growing the business. I am still, and I don't just mean financially, I mean depth and structure. It's still progressing, but it's not aggressive. It's not big changes happening quickly. It's small pivots, small reclaiming of energy. It specifically means fewer one-on-one clients because I'm focusing more on the resources and courses and workshops that I can create and run to make a difference in group settings. My community, the Better Business Collective, has really shown me how I can make a difference to lots of people's lives in a way that works for me as well. I have 36 members in that group, and I could not work with all of them one-on-one. And yet in this group setting, I can influence their lives. I can make them better. I can support them. So that's exciting. It is a shift. It is a vision because I do love working one-on-one with clients. I've resisted giving it up, or not giving it up because I'm still working with my existing clients, but I've resisted not offering it as an option because I love it so much. But reconnecting with my vision has been about trusting that I will return to more one-on-one work again, and that there is a whole future of my business that will come to light in a few years when I don't have a toddler. In my present right now, this is the bit that I'm revising. This is the piece where I'm going, okay, let's work on it this way. Let's empower these amazing women in business with these tools and resources right now. And I will come back to doing it a different way when I'm ready. So really fun to just play with the vision a little bit. And it's like I've picked it up and put it in a different shaped box. Like it is in a different shape now to what it was 7 years ago. And that will keep happening, which is fun, which is the way it's meant to be. It's not meant to stay the same forever. There's no bad time to celebrate and review your business. So if this is an opportunity for you to do that, please do. Please share with me. If any of my clients and community members are listening and want to share any memories of working together, oh my God, I would love that. Please do come over to Instagram and say hi. I am at the Jenny Pace if we haven't already connected there. And I'm here. I'm celebrating you, celebrating how far you've come. Even if you don't remember that you have come so far, I know that you have. And I'm excited. Okay, I will see you soon for another podcast episode. If you are planning Christmas for 2021, I have resources. Head over to Instagram or to my website, thejennypace.com, for a Christmas checklist and the Better Christmas Plan course that you can go through at your own pace for a better Christmas. So good. Okay, everybody, take care. Celebrate your businesses. I'll see you soon.